We have some breaking news for you now. The very first defendant has pleaded guilty in the Georgia election subversion case, that case that includes Donald Trump in its long list of defendants. Scott Hall today agreed to take a deal with prosecutors. He pleaded guilty to 5 counts in the case. CNN's Nick Valencia joins us live. Nick, what exactly is Hall admitting that he did?
Well, Scott Hall is the former Georgia bail bondsman who was part of this alleged scheme to illegally access voting data equipment in rural Coffee County. That bail bondsman, Scott Hall, was caught on surveillance video going inside a restricted area in part of this alleged scheme by Trump operatives to prove that there was voter fraud, widespread voter fraud in Georgia. And just a moment ago, Jake, in an impromptu hearing in front of the presiding judge, Scott McAfee, Hall and his attorney entered this guilty plea, admitting that there was a factual basis for the charges against him. Now, he admitted to 5 counts. He was charged with 7 counts. He admitted to 5 counts. All of them are misdemeanors. Each of them carries 12 months of probation, so he's going to be on 5 months of probation, as well as face a $5,000 fine. There's also several other conditions as part of this. He's not going to be allowed to communicate with other defendants. That's part of it. He's going to have to write a letter of apology, as well as 200 hours of community service. But this is very big news for a case that we've been watching closely over the last several months. Scott Hall, the first person to turn himself in to the Fulton County Jail after this sprawling indictment was leveled by the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. Now Scott Hall, the first person to take a plea deal and cut that deal with the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. Jake.
All right, Nick Valencia, thanks so much. CNN senior legal analyst Elie Honig joins us now. Elie, are you surprised already a guilty plea in the case?
Well, Jake, it is quick to get a guilty plea. It's definitely a win for the Fulton County District Attorney. But when you charge 19 defendants at once, this is what happens. They start taking care of their own interests. They start taking pleas. They start turning on each other. And I think the big question here is, in the course of this deal that Scott Hall has now struck with prosecutors, will he agree to testify? Typically, when you see this kind of consideration given, when someone who is looking at prison time, as Scott Hall was, is given a probation deal, that involves testifying. And the person who needs to be most worried about this in this case is Sidney Powell, because Scott Hall is charged in the scheme to access voting equipment. And Sidney Powell is also charged in that count. So if he's providing testimony, then she's going to be implicated.
And I would think, Elie, that being the first defendant to agree to a deal with prosecutors has its advantages.
Absolutely. We prosecutors always tell defendants in a multi-defendant case like this, first one in the door gets the best deal, because you need that information most. It's a buyer-seller market. It's a supply and demand issue. And when you have nobody on board cooperating, you need them most as a prosecutor. So here Scott Hall stands to get the best deal, the biggest benefit, because he's providing them with that first break into that world of information that they need to know.
All right, Elie Honig, thank you so much with the breaking news.